So again, this is your review for your test tomorrow. It's on section 6.1 to 6.4. We're going to start with the first, I think it's like 15, 18 questions. I don't know. You're just performing whatever operation they tell you is there. So for number 1, you have x squared minus 9 over 2x plus 4 times 5x plus 10 over 2x minus 6. First thing to do with this, especially since it's multiplication, factor it. Your x squared minus 9 factors to be x plus 3 times x minus 3. Your 2x plus 4, you can factor out your greatest common factor, which is 2. So that's 2 times x plus 2. You multiply this with the 5x plus 10, which you can factor out of 5, to be 5 times x plus 2, over 2x minus 6, which you can factor out of 2. So that's 2 times x minus 3. If you multiply this straight across and then simplify, it's going to give you 5 times x plus 2 times x plus 3 times x minus 3, all over 4 times x plus 2 times x minus 3. You got an x plus 2 on the top and the bottom, so those cancel. You also have an x minus 3 on the top and the bottom, so those cancel out. So up top, you're only left with the 5 times x plus 3. And on the bottom, you have that 4. For number 2, you have 3x minus 9 over 8 divided by x squared minus 6x plus 9 over 12. And we're going to keep, change, flip with this. So keep, change to multiplication, flip the second fraction. While I do that, I'm also going to factor out whatever I can. The 3x minus 9, you can factor out of 3, so that's 3 times x minus 3. Keep it over the 8 because the 8 doesn't factor. Change to multiplication, then flip the second fraction. You're going to have 12 over x squared minus 6x plus 9. Your factors of 9 that add up to be 6 are negative 3 and negative 3. So that's x minus 3 times x minus 3. From here, you can multiply straight across if you'd like to. This is going to give you 36 times x minus 3 all over 8 times x minus 3 times x plus 3. Your 36 and your 8 are both divisible by 4. So 36 turns into 9, 8 turns into 2. You also have an x minus 3 on the top and the bottom of that fraction. So this is just leaving you with 9 over 2 times x plus 3. So this, change it to the minus. Change to minus. Change this one to a minus. For number 3, you have x squared minus 8x plus 7 over 2x divided by x minus 7. So this division is a little different because that second part is not in fraction form. If you were to write it as a fraction, just put it over 1, so that way when you keep, change, and flip, you know it's going to be 1 over that x minus 7. You're going to factor the numerator of the first fraction as well. Your factors of positive 7 that add up to be negative 8 are negative 1 and negative 7. So that's x minus 1 times x minus 7 all over 2x times 1 over x minus 7. You can multiply straight across with this. And it's just going to leave you with x minus 1 times x minus 7 all over 2x times x minus 7. From here, simplify. You have an x minus 7 on the top and the bottom. So it's just x minus 1 over 2x. For number 4, you have 3x over x plus 1 plus x over x squared plus 2x plus 1. You got to factor that x squared plus 2x plus 1. Your factors of 1 that add up to be 2 are 1 and 1. So that's x plus 1 times x plus 1. Your least common denominator out of these two fractions is the x plus 1 times x plus 1. So when you do this, that first fraction is missing one of the x plus 1s. So you can multiply the top and the bottom of that first fraction by an x plus 1 to make it a like fraction to the x squared plus 2x plus 1. So this is going to give you, you're distributing the 3x in, 3x squared plus 3x. If you want to add that second numerator up top and just put it over your least common denominator of the x plus 1 times x plus 1, this is what you'd have. So from here, you just combine your like terms, which is the 3x and the x. So that gives you 3x squared plus 4x all over x plus 1 times x plus 1. Now, tomorrow, your question or your directions for this type of question are going to tell you to write your answer in factored form. This is not completely factored on the top because you have a greatest common factor between the x squared and the x, which is x. So if you do that and you factor it, it's going to be x times 3x plus 4 all over x plus 1 times x plus 1. So that'll be the answer that you give for a question like this. For number 5, you're given x over x plus 5 minus x over x plus 2. Your least common denominator between these two fractions is the x plus 5 and the x plus 2. So if we multiply the first fraction, top and bottom, by x plus 2, second fraction by x plus 5, top and bottom, that'll give us our least common denominator in both of these fractions. What I like to do with this is I like to turn this into addition and make that second fraction's numerator the negative. So I know that when I'm distributing in that term, I'm distributing the sign with it. So that way I don't have to change my signs after I distribute that term. So if I do this, distribute the x from the first the first fraction, it's going to give us x squared plus 2x. If I distribute the negative x into the x plus 5, it gives us negative x squared minus 5x. And then we can put this all over our least common denominator of the x plus 5 times x plus 2. You need to combine your like terms from here. You have x squared and negative x squared. They are opposites of one another, so they cancel each other out. From there, just combine the 2x and the negative 5x. That give you negative 3x over x plus 5 times x plus 2. For number 6, we have 1/2 plus 3/5 all over 1 over 10 minus 1 over 15. Remember when we did this section, we said this is the same exact thing as saying 1/2 plus 3/5 divided by 1/10 minus 1/15. From the 1/2 and the 3/5, your least common denominator is 10. From the 10 and the 15, your least common denominator is 30. So we multiply the 2 by 5 to make it 10, and the 5 by 2 to make it 10. Then we multiply the 10 by 3 to make it 30, and the 15 by 2 to make it 30. So this is going to turn into 5 plus 6 all over 10 divided by 3 minus 2 all over 30. The 5 plus 6 is 11 over 10 divided by 3 minus 2 is 1 over 30. So we keep, change, flip, and that gives us 11 over 10 times 30 over 1. We can cross simplify the 10 and the 30 to become 1 and 3. So this is just 33, or 11 times 3, which is 33. For number 7, you have 3 minus 1 over x plus 2 all over 1 plus 1 over x squared minus 4. I'm going to rewrite this so that way it is 3 or 3 over 1 minus 1 over x plus 2 divided by 1 or 1 over 1 plus 1 over x minus 2 times x plus 2. That bottom of the fraction on the bottom part, that x squared minus 4 just factors to be x plus 2 times x minus 2, because it's a difference of squares. So from here, from our first set of parentheses, our least common denominator is the x plus 2. So we can multiply the 3 by x plus 2. We distribute the 3 in, and that gives us 3x plus 6 minus 1 all over x plus 2. For the second set of parentheses, your least common denominator is the x minus 2 times x plus 2. So we're going to do that on the top of the first fraction. So that just becomes x plus 2 times x minus 2 plus 1 all over x minus 2 times x plus 2. Now, you see here that you have that plus 1. You're not going to be able to add that 1 to the x plus 2 or the x minus 2. It's not going to give you the correct, the correct expression that multiplies out. So you can actually leave that x squared minus 4. So that way it's a little bit easier for you to add that 1 to it up top. So it would just be x squared minus 4 plus 1. Even if you FOILed out the x minus 2 times x plus 2, it would still give you the x squared minus 4. I just didn't want you to do that twice kind of thing. So when we simplify this, it's going to give us 3x plus 5 over x plus 2 divided by x squared minus 3 over x minus 2 times x plus 2. If we keep, then change, and flip, this is going to leave us with 3x plus 5 over x plus 2 times x squared minus 3 over x plus 2 times x minus 2, flip it, sorry. This turns into x plus 2 times x minus 2 all over x squared minus 3. Remember, keep, change, flip. So from here, you can multiply straight across, or you can simplify first diagonally if you'd like to. If you simplify diagonally first, you have an x plus 2 on the top of the second fraction and the bottom of the first fraction. So those can cancel out. And then you'll multiply straight across to give yourself 3x plus 5 times x minus 2 all over x squared minus 3. For number 8, you have 3 over 2x minus 6 plus 1 over x squared minus 9. That 2x minus 6 factors to be 2 times x minus 3. The x squared minus 9 factors to be x minus 3 times x plus 3. So your least common denominator here is 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 3. Your first fraction is missing the x plus 3 on the bottom, so multiply the 3 into the x plus 3. That gives you 3x plus 9. Your second fraction is missing the 2 in the denominator, so multiply the 1 by 2. That gives you 2. This all goes over your least common denominator of 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 3. Combine your like terms up top, and that gives you 3x plus 11 all over 2 times x minus 3 times x plus 3. For number 9, you have 3 over x minus 3 minus 5 over x plus 4. Your least common denominator between these two fractions is x minus 3 times x plus 4. We'll multiply the first fraction's numerator by x plus 4. So we'll distribute the 3 in. That gives us 3x plus 12. We're going to turn that 5 into a negative 5 and put addition between these two fractions. That second fraction's numerator is going to be multiplied by x minus 3. So we're going to multiply in the negative 5. So that's going to give us negative 5x plus 15. And that all goes over your least common denominator of x minus 3 times x plus 4. Okay, so from here, we're just going to combine like terms up top. So the 3x minus 5x is negative 2x, and the 12x plus 15x is going to give us 27. And that all goes over the x minus 3 times x plus 4. You cannot factor the negative 2x plus 27, so you're going to leave it just like this, and that'll be your answer. For number 10, you have x over x minus 1 plus 3x over x squared minus 1. Your least common denominator with this, if you want to factor that x squared minus 1, you can. It's just x minus 1 times x plus 1. So your least common denominator is literally the x minus 1 times x plus 1. Your first fraction's denominator is missing the x plus 1, so multiply that x by x plus 1 and distribute it in. The second fraction is going to stay the 3x over the x minus 1 times x plus 1. So this is going to multiply out to give you x squared plus x plus 3x up top, all over x minus 1 times x plus 1. Your x squared doesn't match up with another x squared, so drop it down. Your x and your 3x are like terms, which combine to give you 4x. And that's all over x minus 1 times x plus 1. Again, your directions will tell you to write your answer in factored form. So that x squared plus 4x factors to be x times x plus 4, all over x minus 1 times x plus 1. For number 11, you have negative x minus 17 over x squared plus 6x plus 5 plus 4 over x plus 1. That x squared plus 6x plus 5 factors to be x plus 1 times x plus 5. So your least common denominator is x plus 1 times x plus 5. Your second fraction in your denominator is missing the x plus 5, so multiply the 4 by x plus 5, distribute it in. This is going to leave you with x minus 17 plus 4x plus 20 all over x plus 1 times x plus 5. Combine your like terms. X plus 4x is 5x. This negative 17 plus 20, or 20 minus 17, is 3. And that all goes over the x plus 1 times x plus 5. Then x is, thank you, sorry. Yep, it is. So this is negative. So it's not 5x, but 3x. There we go. So then this is not factored fully. So if you do factor it fully, it becomes 3 times x plus 1 over x plus 1 times x plus 5. You have an x plus 1 on the top and the bottom of this fraction, so they cancel, and you're just left with 3 over x plus 5. And then that is your answer. For number 12, you have 10x plus 11 over 2x squared plus 5x plus 2 minus 4 over 2x plus 1. This 2x squared plus 5x plus 2 is going to factor. Your 2 times 2 is 4. Your factors of 4 that add up to be 5 are 1 and 4. So that's 2x squared plus x plus 4x plus 2. You factor it by grouping. Factor out an x from here, factor out a 2 from here. That gives you x plus 2 times 2x plus 1. That is your least common denominator. So that second fraction, your numerator is going to turn into negative 4, and you're going to add these, and you're multiplying that negative 4 by the x plus 2 that you don't have in that denominator that's in your first denominator. So this gets rewritten as 10x plus 11 minus 4x minus 8 all over 2x plus 1 times x plus 2. You're combining your like terms from here. So 10x minus 4x is 6x. 11 minus 8 is 3. all over 2x plus 1 times x plus 2. You can factor the numerator because they're both divisible by 3, so that's going to become 3 times 2x plus 1 all over 2x plus 1 times x plus 2. Once again, you have a binomial that's the same on the top and the bottom of this fraction, so those are going to cancel each other out, and you're just left with 3 over x plus 2. For 13, you have 5 over x minus 2 minus 4 over 4 minus x squared all over 3 over x plus 2 minus 1 over 2 minus x. Now, we're going to start this one by just rewriting it. When I rewrite it, I'm going to rewrite the 4 minus x squared as negative x squared plus 4 and the 2 minus x as negative x plus 2. Just that way it makes it a little bit easier for you to visualize what you have to factor out or how you have to factor it. The top is going to be put in parentheses, and it's just 5 over x minus 2 minus 4 over negative x squared plus 4. The bottom gets rewritten as 3 over x plus 2 minus 1 over negative x plus 2. From the first set of parentheses here, you are going to factor that negative x squared plus 4. Factor out the negative first. It becomes the opposite of x squared minus 4, which is a difference of squares. So that gives you 5 over x minus 2 minus 4 over the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2. Again, we just factored out the negative, then factored the difference of squares. Your second set of parentheses, the 3 over x plus 2 is going to stay. The negative x plus 2 is going to become 1 over the opposite of x minus 2. So your least common denominator from the first set of parentheses is going to be the opposite. Least common denominator is the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2. The first fraction in there, you need the negative, so the 5 is going to become negative. You also need the x plus 2. So distribute in the negative 5 into the x plus 2. That's going to give you negative 5x minus 10 minus the second fraction in there is going to stay the numerator with 4. Just put it all over your least common denominator of negative or the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2. The second set of parentheses, your least common denominator is the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2. Your first fraction in there needs the negative, so we'll make that 3 a negative 3. It also needs the x minus 2. So we're going to distribute the negative 3 into the x minus 2, and that gives us negative 3x plus 6. The second fraction, you're going to have that negative 1, turn it into addition now, being multiplied by x plus 2 because you do not have the x plus 2 in that denominator. So that's just the opposite of x, so negative x minus 2 all over your least common denominator of negative or opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2. You are going to simplify in your numerator of each of these set of parentheses. So with the first, the negative 5x minus 10 minus 4. Your negative 10 and your negative 4 are like terms. Combine them. That gives you the opposite of 5x minus 14 all over the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2. Your second set of parentheses, your like terms, are the negative 3x and the negative x, which gives you negative 4x, and the 6 and the negative 2, which gives you 4. This is all over the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2. When I go to rewrite this, when I keep, change, and flip, I'm going to factor whatever else I can as I do that. So that's going to give us the opposite of 5x minus 14, or I can rewrite this as factoring out a negative 5x plus 14 all over the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2 times the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2 all over negative 4 times x minus 1. We're all factored now, so you could either multiply straight across or simplify before you multiply. If you simplify before you multiply, diagonally you have the opposite of x minus 2 times x plus 2. So those cancel each other out and become 1s. You also have a negative on the top and the bottom diagonally with the 5x plus 14 and the 4 times x minus 1. So those both become positive. So if we multiply straight across from here, we're just left with 5x plus 14 all over 4 times x minus 1. To make sure we get done with this before the end of class, we're going to skip 14 and 15. You do not have questions like 14 or 15 that are exactly like those on your test, but on your answers for this, they will be done. If you look at number 16, though, you have a to the negative second power minus b to the negative third power all over a to the negative first power, b to the negative second power. We're going to rewrite this as a division problem, but at the same time, we're going to simplify those negative powers. Remember, those negative powers take the reciprocal of the term, only the term that they are attached to. So this is going to become 1 over a squared minus 1 over b cubed divided by 1 over a b squared. With your numerator or your first set of parentheses here, your least common denominator is a squared b cubed. So we're going to multiply the 1 in the first fraction's numerator by b cubed, the 1 in the second fraction's numerator by a squared. So this is going to give us b cubed minus a squared all over a squared b cubed divided by 1 over ab squared. If we change, and we flip, this is going to leave us with b cubed minus a squared all over a squared b cubed times ab squared over 1. We can multiply straight across if you'd like to and then simplify. If we do that, it's just going to give us ab squared times b cubed minus a squared all over a squared b cubed. The a up top subtracts 1 from the 2 on the bottom. The 2 b's up top subtract 1 from the 3 b's on the bottom. Subtract 2 from the 3 b's on the bottom. So this is just leaving you with b cubed minus a squared all over ab. If we look at number 17, you have p to the negative first power plus pq to the negative second power. This is the same thing as saying 1 over p plus p over q squared. Your least common denominator is pq squared. So the first fraction we multiply by q squared on the top. Second, we multiply by p. So that's going to give us q squared plus p squared all over pq squared. For number 18, it asks us to find the value of 3x minus 6 over 2x minus plus 1 when x is equal to negative 2. So with these, wherever you see an x, you're going to plug the negative 2 in. So this is just going to give you 3 times negative 2 minus 6 all over 2 times negative 2 plus 1. The 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. The negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. From here, we're going to add the negative 6 and the negative 6 to give us negative 12. And the negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. Simplifying negative 12 over 3, they become positive, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. you're doing the same exact thing for number 19. It tells you to find r of negative 1 if r of x is equal to 6x squared plus 3 all over 5x minus 1. So wherever you see an x, you're going to replace it with the negative 1. So you're going to have r of negative 1 is equal to 6 times negative 1 squared plus 3 all over 5 times negative 1 minus 1. This simplifies to give you 6 times 1 plus 3 all over negative 5 minus 1. The 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is 9, and the negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. So this simplifies to just give us negative 3 over 2. For 20, it tells you to find the domain of the function r of x is equal to x squared minus 1 over x minus 9. You're writing your answer in interval notation. Your denominator is the only thing that matters with these. Take that denominator, set it not equal to 0, and solve. So x minus 9, add the 9 over, you get that x cannot equal 9. To write this in interval notation, it's everything but 9. So you go from negative infinity up to 9, with a union from 9 to positive infinity. You're done. If you want to graph it, draw your number line out, draw a line over your number line, but do not include the 9. So everything but the 9.